We spoke about international data transfers in our previous video with privacy compliance program. So I thought let's touch base again on the real laws that we have from GDPR, the three kinds of clauses that GDPR puts. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on privacy. And as I said, we'll just touch base upon the three laws when it comes to international data transfers, or what we commonly call under privacy as cross-border data. So the first one is standard contractual clauses. Sort of a legal contract between the two companies. The source is to be, of course, from Europe. So if European data or data of European citizens is moving out of Europe, then there has to be a pre-approved legal contract between the two companies on how the data would get transferred and how would it be protected outside the European Union. While of course the exporter has to take care of how is it being protected within the European Union as well. It's the most commonly used GDPR mechanism in international data transfers, and it is recommended to do a transfer impact assessment before doing the actual transfer. Transfer impact assessment is another kind of privacy assessment where what you are analyzing is what is the volume of data that you want to transfer, sensitivity of it, purpose of transfer, which is very important, is it that it cannot be handled within the local geography, within Europe, and how would it get transferred? What kind of bandwidth is being used? Is it being encrypted, anonymized? So any such technology being used to ensure that the data sanctity is maintained, all that is covered under transfer impact assessment. So before doing the transfer impact assessment is done. A report is submitted to regulators, also making it easier for them to sanction the transfer. But of course, if you have the legal contract with you, then you are not dependent on that. But transfer impact assessment is something that has to be done before you transfer the data internationally. Largely, standard contractual clauses apply for organizations where the data is being transferred to a third-party organization. Right? So it's not to your own organization, it's to a third-party organization. For example, you are using overseas cloud services, or you are outsourcing data for processing. So any European Union country sends its data to, say, India, right? So they should have a standard contractual clause and a pre-approved legal contract with the Indian company approved by the GDPR authorities. If that European company has its office in India and it's sharing the data between the European office and Indian office, then there's a international data transfer framework, which is known as binding corporate rules. So binding corporate rules are for multinational companies who are transferring data of European citizens outside of Europe within their organization. Again, we need to understand the network, the transfer mode, the encryptions or any other privacy enhancement technology being used. This is also approved by the European Data Protection Authorities. It applies to transfer within the multinational company group. For example, if you talk of large companies, global organizations like Google, Infosys, they want to transfer data of European employees to India, then they need to follow the binding corporate rules. These are very robust and long-term rules that the European companies follow. And then last but not the least comes adequacy decisions, where the destination country may not be having data protection laws as such, but they agree to and they do follow some basic level of data protection. So there is no risk of breach to the data when it travels outside European Union to a country. Then the European Union government or GDPR authorities declare them as adequate countries, adequacy decision, and therefore the data is allowed to be transferred there. There is no extra contractual safeguard required in case you are working with an adequacy country, right, approved under the adequacy decisions. For example, Japan, etc., they are covered under the adequacy decisions. Within Europe, they have other European Union members, so transferring data between them is also covered under the adequacy decision. India is not yet considered fully adequate because the Indian DPDP Act is still not regulated. So whenever the data is being transferred to India, the standard contractual clauses and the binding corporate rules come into effect and are used that way. So that's about the three terminology for the three kind of protection mechanisms that European Union GDPR uses. I hope you like the content of the video. Please press the button like icon. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.